Patrick, back with you. We're continuing to move through the Wealth Steps order of operations. This is the second step, and this is the cash flow mastery step. So this is where we're continuing to get organized. If you're watching on YouTube here, you can see the data gathering document checklist. And so just FYI, this is the same checklist that I use for individuals that pay me a financial planning fee, to whether they're retired or whether they're working. I'm only as good as the information that comes in the door. And so what do I mean by that? I need data. I need employer benefits. I need banking account statements. We talk about cash flow and loans, tax review and tax planning, investment review, estate planning review, insurance needs, income planning. And then if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that all those different 8 topic areas have like 5 different little subtopic areas. So the first one here, and this subtopic of the Wealth Step order of operations step, is talking about group benefits. And so why would we want to look at group benefits? Because ultimately, a lot of the benefits that are available to employees are much cheaper when they come through in the form of a group package. So what do I mean what do I mean by that? I mean that if you had access to a life insurance policy through your work, it's going to be much cheaper than what it's going to be outside of the work 8 out of 10 times. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have a policy outside of work, because you probably won't work at that job your whole career. So whenever it comes time for me to give advice on employer benefits, I like to at least see what you've got going on through your employer. So it could be, we start with just looking at your pay stub, and that's how I can kind of reverse engineer finding out what benefits you've already opted into, because on the pay stub it's going to show you the different deductions, whether it's a 401k deduction, a 401k match. It's going to show you group life insurance, group disability insurance. It could be a HSA contribution. There's different things. And so ultimately the role of a financial planner, and that's what I'm doing, is I'm playing detective of what you have available to you, what you have already opted into, and if there's any gaps. Let's just say you've opted into a group disability policy, and it's only going to pay out 60% of your income in the event of a disability. Well, for an example, let's just say you're living off of 100% of your income that's coming in. So you can do the math. Is 60% going to be enough to cover 100% of your expenses? No, you're 40% short. So ultimately, that's where supplemental disability policies come into play, is you're picking up the gap. You're going from 60% all the way up to 90%, or maybe even 95%, depending on what kind of policy you opt into. Is it free? No. But does everybody need a disability policy? Statistically, you're more than likely going to become disabled instead of passing away prematurely. Only 2% of term policies are going to pay out. And that is a lot of money that sort of, I say it goes down the drain, but that's up to the individual to decide ultimately. It's the same thing with the disability policy. You may not use the policy, and you might pay into it for 25 years and not use it at all. Are there ways to reduce the premium? Sure. But ultimately, the group insurance benefits, we want to make sure that we are maximizing what you have access to. Let's just say you're getting ready to retire. Let's figure out what you have access to as far as health care insurance after you leave the workforce. Maybe they're going to subsidize your health insurance in retirement. We don't know. So there's 2 places that you can go and look at. One is the pay stub. That's going to show you what you're already opted into. But number 2 is going to be your group insurance benefits summary. It's going to be your plan document where, you look at that document and then figure out what you have access to. And then we can figure out, do you need to opt into it or do you not need to opt into it? But ultimately, that's what this episode is about specifically. It's figuring out what options you have available to you in the form of group benefits, and then figuring out do you opt into them? Do you not opt into them? But you probably only have one time in the year that you can do your annual benefits enrollment. So if you're a business owner and you don't have group benefits, then reach out to me. Let's have a conversation about, do you need them for your employees or do you not? Probably you do. If you're constantly seeing turnover and employees are leaving and going somewhere else, odds are you don't have a strong enough benefits package. But for someone that wants to have me review their employer benefits, I do that. It's part of the financial planning process that I take individuals through. But ultimately, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the checklist that I use. I'm not holding anything back here. It's not like, hey, you got to pay me to learn this stuff. No, I'm teaching you. But if you want me to do it for you, then you'll have to pay for it. But ultimately, that's for you to figure out, can you do this on your own? Do you want to do this on your own or do you want to outsource it? But either way, it does need to get done. So take a look at your group benefits the next time you have the opportunity to look at them. Look at your retirement plan documents, and then, let's put a plan together and hit the road. So we'll see you on the next one.